Do you have a drinking problem? That is a question we are going to answer here in this video. The reason why I am making this video is because when I was going through the motions and I was wrestling to understand my relationship with alcohol, that was a question I frequently asked myself, and I was very hesitant when I asked myself that question. And of course, like you probably did, you went on Google or you went on YouTube and you looked for a video like this to try to get some validation as to whether or not your drinking is an issue or it's not an issue. And I have some wisdom and I'm going to shed some light on the situation for you guys. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sammy. I am 2+ years sober from alcohol, and we're going to talk about our relationships with alcohol in this one so you can have a better understanding of whether or not your drinking is a problem. So now here's the first thing I'm going to tell you. First solid piece of advice, guys, is nobody can tell you you have a drinking problem except yourself. Except yourself. Nobody. I can't tell you have a drinking problem. The U.S. government of if you drink X amount of drinks a day, you have a drinking problem. The doctor, I mean, they can make a diagnosis, and if you're at that severe end of the spectrum, maybe they can tell you, okay, maybe yeah, now it's a little bit of a problem. But 99.9% of people out there, or the advice out there, they can't tell you have a drinking problem. This has to be a personal decision you come to, and I think we're hesitant because people get nervous when they think of alcohol as a problematic substance, and that's because we've grown up with this. It's so how you say, it's so glamorized in media, guys. Drinking is on the TV, alcohol is on all those reality TV shows. Alcohol is just like this thing you do to celebrate that is socially accepted, and we don't really think twice about it. And when everybody starts drinking, everybody usually has fun with the substance, but then somewhere down the line things change, and then you begin to question things, and then you're like, wait, is this really for me? Is this really who I want to be? Is this substance actually serving me or adding value to my life? And if you're asking these questions, you're probably here on this video right now because you're at a point where the good times with the substance, like, where did they go? They're gone. Now you're here at this point, and I don't know what you're going through, but I will tell you this. People get nervous to say they have a drinking problem because that has such a stigma associated with it. You think immediately you are a alcoholic, you're a degenerate of society, you will be judged harshly by your peers. Alcoholic, no, I don't want to be an alcoholic. But paradoxically, a lot of people don't think they need to quit alcohol until they get to that deep level of alcoholism. And guys, I'm going to tell you firsthand, you don't want to ever let it get to that point. And if you are at that point, I'm sorry, it sucks. See a doctor, go to rehab, do what you need to do to get your life together. But people think they have to be a alcoholic before they have a problem with drinking, and that is not true. Alcohol can become a problem in your life way before you get to that end of the spectrum. And I'm talking like you're drinking 24 hours a day. If you stop drinking, you're going to have seizures, chemically dependent on the substance. But even that, like, I don't like the term alcoholic. It's outdated because addiction and everyone's relationships with alcohol is actually a spectrum, guys. And a lot of times, especially if you're wondering if you have an issue with drinking, you will go on Google, and Google will say if you're drinking more than, like, I don't know, like 7 drinks a day for men or 5 for women, your drinking may be problematic. Like, it's so hard because everybody is different. Our bodies are different. Our livers are different. Everybody has different tolerance levels. Everybody's brains respond differently to the substance. It's not that easily black and white or cut and dry. That's why I say the only one who can tell you you have not an addiction, but it might be an addiction, but the only one who can tell you have a problem with it is yourself, because you have to come to that realization. Like, if someone tells you you have a problem, you're not really going to be motivated to change anything about your life. But if you come to this realization, and we don't even have to use the word problem, we can just be sober curious or re-examining our relationships with alcohol. It doesn't really have to be technical. It doesn't have to have a label. It can just be you trying to be a better person and understand if this substance is making your life better or if it's just making it worse. And for me, it was making my life worse. So when I talk about the spectrum, guys, like the spectrum for alcohol, like you could be someone who drinks 2 drinks once a week, but if those 2 drinks are enough to get you plastered, and then you make poor decisions and you sleep with someone you don't want to sleep with, or you drive your car drunk, or you're not the best parent or brother or family member, or if you're using alcohol and you're just drinking on weekends, but you realize your life isn't going anywhere because you keep living for the weekend. You're not living for your purpose. You're not trying to be a better human. You're not trying to give value back to the world. You are distracting yourself with alcohol. Like, to me, that's a problem. A lot of people live like that. Monday through Friday, make it to the weekend, spend the whole weekend getting hammered, liquid dopamine, having fun. And I'm not saying not have fun, guys. It's good to have fun, but when that fun is stunting your growth as a human being, when that fun is causing you to make poor decisions, when that fun is becoming a coping mechanism, you're drinking because you're stressed out with work, you're drinking because you feel pressure to do so because all of your peers drink and you don't know how to go out with them and not drink. If you're drinking and you don't even really want to be drinking, like, guys, or if you're drinking to relax, if you feel so stressed out, or if you're having really bad anxiety and you feel the need to go for a drink, well, again, I'm not going to tell you have a problem. Only you can tell yourself that. And guys, I have been all of the above. I have been the guy going out drinking. I didn't want to drink, but all my peers drank. My friends still drink, but I don't drink anymore. I finally cut that shit out. My anxiety was through the roof. I was drinking to cope with my anxiety. I was drinking because I was stressed out with my job. If you don't know, I'm a trauma nurse. I see life and death on the regular. I was drinking to cope with depression. My drinking was keeping me depressed. And the whole time I'm trying to wonder if this is a substance, if this is a problem in my life. I'm looking on the internet and all I'm getting is no clear answers. I'm getting the far end of the spectrum where it is a problem, and then I'm using that to justify my drinking. I'm like, oh, I don't drink 3 days straight or have seizures. My drinking isn't a problem. But as a result, guys, I stayed stuck letting alcohol stay in my life longer than it should have been. And as a result, I'm still making poor decisions. I am driving my car drunk. I ruined my last relationship because of my behavior when I drink. The man I am when I drink is not the man I am when I'm sober, and that's not okay with me anymore. I love being consistent, grounded, good morals, good core values. I don't like being a degenerate. I don't like being the drunk version of me. Like, that was fun. I lived that life, but that's not me anymore, and that's not who I ever want to be again. So I don't drink anymore, guys, and it's because I'm trying to be better. And the thing is, guys, like, it wasn't at the point to where I'm drinking every day to just live. There were days where I would go on binges. Sometimes I'd be on a binge for like 1 or 2 days. But then there were also those days where I would not drink for a week. I would not drink for a month. I would go a couple days without drinking. And again, I would look, is my drinking a problem? And it's like, well, I can go a couple days without drinking. Of course it's not a problem. I'm looking up all this resources online, and I am justifying it just to keep alcohol in my life because I'm not quite ready to let the substance go. And the reason why I wasn't ready to let it go is because I had a lot of fun with it, guys. When I started drinking in my 20s, my mid-20s, it wasn't really a problematic substance. It was a good time, and our brains are conditioned to just consistently think that substance is a good time. But in reality, like, I had my first beer when I was 19. By the time I was like maybe 28, that's probably when it was problematic in my life. But by the time I actually accepted that this shit needed to go, I was 30. So I quit drinking at age 30. But 28 to 29 was like those years of denial where I'm telling myself, I'm just gonna cut back. I'm only gonna drink for special occasions. Then every day is a special occasion. Somebody's dog's having a birthday party. Let's open up a bottle. Let's drink. Let's party. Whatever, dude. I'm only gonna drink on weekends. I'm only gonna drink twice a week. I'm not gonna have more than a couple drinks. Like, you name it, I freaking tried it. And honestly, as humans, those are the things we do when we are wrestling with a substance. We rationalize it. I'm only going to drink on parties. I'm only going to drink once a month. I'm only going to drink on special occasions. And then it's amazing how many special occasions come up. I'm only going to drink like 2 drinks. I'm not going to keep alcohol in the house. And you end up making a beer run anyways. Like, guys, you name it. I have done it personally. I have done it. I've gone on this merry-go-round, and I've done the thing where I'm like, oh, one time I even stayed sober for a whole month, and I was just like, wow, I haven't had alcohol in a whole month. I'm obviously not chemically dependent on the substance. It's obviously not a problem to me. And I think I went to like Disney World, and I was like, I'm on a trip. Let me have fun. Let me drink. I didn't burn things down that night, but 2 weeks later, I'm having issues. I'm driving my car drunk. I'm sending texts to people I shouldn't be texting. I'm sabotaging my friendships, my relationships. I drink so much I go back into another episode of spiraling depression where I just don't leave my room for 2 weeks and lock myself in my room and play Call of Duty and just call into work and just become a degenerate of society, literally going nowhere. I become a person who's just depressed, and then I drink because I'm depressed, and then I stay depressed. And then I'm like, why did I let myself come back to this low point again? Why did I let myself get hungover again? Why am I spending 2 days in bed recovering from a night out with my friends? Was that high really worth all the suffering I'm going through? Was that high really worth me not being a better human being? Was that really worth me not living up to my potential? Like, I had so many dreams when I was a drinker, guys. And the most frustrating thing is that I would get lost in the alcohol. I would get lost in that instant buzz, that high, that good feeling, that living for the weekend. And it wasn't a sustainable source of joy or happiness for me, because real joy and happiness comes from consistent growth as a human being, working on yourself, developing yourself, being a little bit better every day. And that was not happening when alcohol was in my life. I would go do my job, money was fine, and I would go celebrate, enjoy the alcohol, enjoy that buzz. But deep down inside, I had this empty feeling, and I was feeling just depressed, and I was feeling like my life mattered more. There was more inside me that I had to give. There was more passion and creativity, and there was so much more to life that I just wasn't living up to, because I was lost in this haze of living for the weekend, the dopamine buzz, the coping, the just getting by. And that's just my story about it, guys. And since I've quit drinking, life is so much better. I do not miss alcohol. I'm not afraid of alcohol. I don't hate alcohol. I had my fun with the substance, but it's become the substance that no longer serves me. And I hope this video will serve one of you guys out there. And I hope you get to that point to where you realize that alcohol no longer serves you either. Because it doesn't, guys. It's fun while it lasts, and it's okay to make peace with that. Like, this was fun. I had my fun, but I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. I'm ready to be the next version of me, the healthier me, the more stable me, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the me that creates and gives back to the world, the me that provides value for others. You can do that. Alcohol will limit that, guys. Alcohol will limit that. And if you're one of those few people that can drink and have a balance, then sure, whatever, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you, those people are very few and far between. And honestly, like, I might get some shit for this, but I feel like if everybody lived long enough, alcohol would eventually become a problem for everybody. Because if you look at the disease spectrum of alcohol, like, if you're drinking, you're on the spectrum. People don't understand that. Like, when you ingest the substance, by default, you're on that spectrum of addiction. And it's only a matter of genetics, time, how much you're drinking, and then eventually you progress on that spectrum, guys. And the longer you stay in the game, the more likely you are to get further into that spectrum of addiction where your drinking becomes problematic. But it's a huge gray area, guys. We're like, some people are here, some people are here, some people are here. You are the only one who can tell yourself that it's a problem for you. Again, like, there is no textbook formula for this thing. There's a bunch of generalizations and a bunch of just like speculations and estimations, and of course the deep end where you're chemically dependent on it and you're drinking every day, because if you don't, you're going to seize. That's the deep end of it. But there's this huge gray middle ground where drinking is potentially problematic for you, and that is what the textbooks and all the knowledge out there is not educating you on, because it's just a gray area. You know, people like absolutes, but with this substance, absolutes are not that clear with it, especially if you're actively drinking. Because when you're actively drinking, your head, you won't even realize this, your head is always in this weird foggy headspace. Like, when I quit drinking after like a month or two, I was just like, whoa, like, the way I perceived reality completely changed. And it's insane, guys. I wish you the best. I hope you do find value in this video. I hope this helped clarify whether or not your drinking is potentially problematic. And like I said, guys, remember, you are the only one who can come to that realization. You're the only one who can make that decision for yourself, guys. And if you have a problem drinking, that doesn't make you any less of a person, guys. Like, that's why I don't like the term alcoholic. There's a stigma behind it. It doesn't make you an alcoholic. You're not a victim. You've wrestled with a popular, socially acceptable substance, and that is fine. It's okay to wrestle with things, and it's okay to want more for your life, and it's okay to want to be better. So don't be afraid to come to this realization to where your drinking is a problem, or it's problematic drinking, or it's an issue, or you might just want to see what sobriety is like, living sober, not drinking. It doesn't matter. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. You don't have to put a label on it. You just have to come to this, you know what? Maybe this dude on the internet is telling me something good. Maybe I need to question my relationship with this substance. And maybe if it is a problem for me, I don't have to feel like shit about it. It's okay. It happens to people because nobody thinks they will ever have a problem drinking. They always think it's going to be that next guy. It's going to be that other guy. I was the same way. I always thought I'm not going to have an issue drinking. It's going to be someone else. Someone else is going to be an alcoholic. Someone else's father's the alcoholic. It's not going to happen to me. I'm going to enjoy this substance. And then one day I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I'm just like, shit. It is me. Holy crap. It's me. I'm that guy. Yeah, I'm that guy. But you know what? If that guy can find happiness and be completely okay not drinking, then you can too. Anyways, guys, signing out. I love you guys. And smash that like button, comment below, the usual business. I'll see you guys on the next one. Good luck on your journeys, friends.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You want